Are you feeling the pinch of slow sales cycles in this shaky economy? You're not alone, but you might just be a few small changes away from blowing by your competitors. So it was a pretty hot topic last week at SaaS. I probably had, I don't know, 2 dozen conversations with founders specifically about the sales cycle slowing. RevOps pros are reporting that half of sales companies are experiencing longer sales cycles 10, 20, 30% longer, some 50% longer, maybe if you get up a little bit bigger. A SaaStr poll of 1,000 companies, 58 said they were longer in 2024 than they were the year before. And my anecdotal evidence on top of that says that the other 42% either lied or they're not tracking it and they don't know because this seems to be universal across the board. Things are slow. There are a handful of companies that maybe are still accelerating or growing, but it was like 8% said that you're growing faster. The sales cycle was shorter now than it was a year ago. So if you feel it, you're absolutely not alone in that. Average B2B sales cycle, 84 days. That's nearly 3 months of waiting for revenue to roll in. So something hits the pipeline today, 84 days from now, it closes or doesn't. A lot of deals right now are being lost to just no decision, which is that I think that hurts more than even losing to a competitor. But imagine the time and money being lost in that 90 days from the time it hits a pipeline to maybe some revenue. Some of you don't have to imagine. Ouch. I had a lot of conversations last week. They're like, this has really become a problem. And while we can't change uncertainty in the market, let's talk about how to turbocharge your B2B SaaS sales cycle without the need for crazy spending, because none of us, want to do that. Capital efficient growth is in, remember? And so we want to do this without crazy spending so we can start seeing faster results and shorten those sales cycles. As long sales cycles create bottlenecks in growth and can severely impact revenue streams, not to mention really screw up projections. That was one of the other big things I heard. We got investors and we told them we're going to do this, and now we're below projection and things are not going well. And that's a tough place to be as a founder. Just slow sales cycles will slow the lead nurturing process and turn that into a lengthy decision making process on the buyer side. Their journey from prospect to close can feel like it's dragging on forever. And I get that. Why is it slowed and what do we need to do about it? There are a handful of reasons and they compound on each other. So here's what I'm seeing. Over the last year, there are more complex buyer groups and decision making processes. So buyers are changing a little bit and part of that, and I think really the biggest part of that, you've got buyer groups and committees and things like that. It's because nobody wants to stick their neck out. And when money's flowing, it's a lot easier to make a decision and make a mistake and not a big deal. But when things are a lot tighter, they're not as willing to stick their neck out. There's difficulty driving consensus among stakeholders. One of the big, I'll say, you know, controversies. One of the big, sticking points is whose budget is this going in? So you have a committee that's making a buying decision, and they're like, wait a second, whose budget is this coming out of? And that just compounds again. We've got declining budgets and economic uncertainty. And they're like, what budget? I don't have any budget. It's all gone. It's spent. Can it wait? Can we wait until next year? Because we'll have a new budget cycles are coming. And for some of you, that's actually starting in October. For a lot of companies, it's at the beginning of the year. So they're like, can this decision wait? And can this purchase wait? And then there's, of course, the increased scrutiny and ROI justification for purchases. So is it really going to deliver the results? Are we going to get the ROI out of that? And we just circle right back around to number one, and nobody wants to stick their neck out. So that's a really tough place to be from a sales perspective because you're like, yeah, we're going to deliver ROI, but they're like, really? Am I willing to stake my job on this? And a lot of them are like, we're just going to wait and see. So here are three practical strategies to help you accelerate your B2B SaaS cycle if these things are sounding all too familiar. The first one is to leverage automation. There are things that automate really well, there are things that don't. But automation tools can significantly speed up various stages of the sales process. Repetitive tasks, follow-ups, onboarding can be automated in a lot of cases, and that can be a really good experience. Walk them step by step through. Email sequences absolutely should be automated, and that not only saves time but also ensures consistent communication with prospects. It keeps them engaged without manual effort. Once they're in the process, we want to keep them nurtured. Automation's good for that. A lead nurture sequence. That's something that we've worked with a lot of the companies that we work with, in really having that lead nurture sequence, especially the first 14, 21 days that they're in your world, to have very specific content, very specific messaging going out to them. It's super helpful to pre-sell. And by the time you hit that demo, they're already pre-sold, and it really shortens the sales cycle. The second is improving lead qualification. A lot of time is wasted on leads that aren't a good fit. A lot of time. So tighten that qualification process by creating a very detailed ICP. Who are your best clients? And then you want to go duplicate those. Don't sign the ones that are on the fringes. It's really tempting to do that, especially when sales cycles are slow, to just grab anything. And 100% of the time, it comes back to bite you. At least it has for me. Every time I'm like, I don't know if we should really do this deal, and then we do it. I always wish that we'd never done it. So just take that for what it's worth. But having that ICP criteria, leveraging data analytics, that's really helpful. But focus on those high quality leads who are most likely to convert. You reduce this time spent on chasing dead end opportunities. So your sales team is really working on things that matter. And we want to get to yes faster. Ultimately, that's the goal. And like I said, it is hard to do when sales are slower than you want. You just, especially sales reps, they just, anything that looks or smells like a deal, they're like wishing it to become a deal. And that's one of the other reasons that sales cycles drag on and you get a bunch of deals lost to no decision. The third one is enhanced customer engagement. And I think this one is probably the most important. In the market right now, engagement is everything. So equip your sales team with content that addresses customer pain points directly. Make sure they're reaching out at the right moments in the buyer's journey. Map that out and get fanatical about the buyer's journey, and make sure that you really understand what that decision process looks like. What do they need when? And add value at every single step. Don't follow up. Hey, just following up. Don't do that. Add real value in every single interaction. That means using tools that notify your reps when prospects engage with assets. It could be webinar attendance, white papers, focused demos about very specific pain points, not a bunch of feature tours. We've got training on how to do that, but it's really allowing them to respond with a tailored, value based outrage pretty much instantly. Somebody takes an action and you're responding with value. Action value, action value, action value. And that needs to be built into your sequences as well. And one of the most effective strategies for shortening your onboarding process is optimizing the first interactions prospects have with your product or service. And that can be product led growth, it can be sales led. But the whole idea is to reduce friction and move them through the sales funnel faster. And you do that just answering the question, how quickly can I get them their first win? And then make that shorter and shorter and figure out, how quickly, and figure that out. How quick can you get them a win? A really good example of this is HubSpot. Yeah, absolute pure B2B play. If there's slowness in the marketplace, they're going to see it because they're 100% B2B. But HubSpot cut their onboarding time, streamlining demos, offering self-guided onboarding options, and it's really getting them to success, getting them that win really quickly. And the result, not only they closed deals faster, they also saw an increased customer satisfaction and engagement right out of the gate. So if you're PLG, somebody signs up, that's step one. But really getting them activated, getting that engagement is the key. That's when the sale is made, not when they just go put their email address in and log in. I've got tons of things that I signed up for a trial for, and 14-day trial, whatever it was, and then never logged in once. That's not what we want to see. Embarrassing, but it's true. But I'm not atypical. That happens all the time. But it's really about getting that engagement, getting them a win quickly. And it shows refining your onboarding flow can have a dramatic impact on the speed of your sales cycle, especially in tough economic times. So, accelerating the B2B sales cycle doesn't mean skyrocketing CAC. All of us are trying to control CAC right now. Probably should be all the time. So, it doesn't mean skyrocketing your cost or running massive campaigns, doing crazy stuff. Getting those three simple things dialed in, you can see significant results quite a bit faster. And in today's turbulent economy, maybe it changes toward the end of the year. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. We've got to figure out how to make money now in Q4 leading into Q1. And in the economy like it is today, these little changes can give you the edge you need. I'm seeing it work across hundreds of companies. Now, if you could use some help with that, just to message me. Happy to talk about specific situations, with you directly. But if you're feeling the pain of slow sales cycles, share your experiences in the comments below and check out our other videos on optimizing sales strategies to keep your pipeline moving forward. Let's break through those bottlenecks together.